In today's session, we will look at the biography of J.B. Priestley. J.B. Priestley is a famous essayist. His essay is prescribed for the students of BA Part 2 English Literature in Paper 2. The title of the essay is First Snow. But before we look at the essay, let us first take a look at the biography of J.B. Priestley. J.B. Priestley, the last great man of English letters. John Priestley, he added Boynton later on, was born in Bradford in the West Riding of Yorkshire on 13 September 1894. His father, Jonathan, was a pioneering schoolmaster. His mother, Emma, had been a mill girl, means she used to work in a mill. Emma died when he was very young, but fortunately his stepmother, Amy, was very kind. Jack, as he was known to the family, enjoyed the rich cultural and social life of prosperous, means wealthy, cosmopolitan, means people living in the city, and relatively classless Bradford. Bradford is the name of the town where he was born and where he grew up. Many of his finest novels, plays, and memoirs draw on his feelings about this vanished time, particularly Bright Day, published in 1946, in which a disillusioned scriptwriter looks back at his golden Bradford adolescence and Lost Empires of 1965, recreating the 1913 Variety Theatre. Priestley was educated at Bellevue School and then worked in a wool office in the Swan Arcade. His main interest by this time, however, was writing. His first publication was Secrets of the Ragtime King for London Opinion, then a series of articles, Round of Hearth, for independent Labour Party publication, called The Bradford Pioneer. When the Great War broke out, Priestley volunteered joining the Duke of Wellington's West Yorkshire Regiment. After a year of training in southern England, he was sent to the front in 1915. In Margin released 1962, he reflected on his hellish experiences and the loss of his friends. Seriously injured in June 1916, Priestley returned to England to convalesce, means to recover from his injuries, and then trained as an officer. Although he never wrote in great detail about his work experiences, it haunted him all his life. About his war experiences, sorry. After the war, Priestley studied at Trinity Hall, Cambridge University, thanks to a very small ex-officer's grant. He excelled academically, but decided to make a career as a writer. With the exception of a book of poems, The Chapman of Rhymes, 1918, which he later denigrated, he had not been in a position to write much during the war years. This is the First World War we are talking about. He moved to London and wrote essays and book reviews for the London Mercury and other periodicals, and published works on literature and a couple of short novels. Collaboration with well-known historical novelist Hugh Walpole on Farthing Hall, 1929, gave Priestley the financial freedom to write a long picaresque novel, The Good Companions, published in 1929. The book won the James Tate Black Memorial Prize for Fiction and earned him an international reputation. His follow-up novel, The Darker London-Centered Angel Pavement of 1930, is also much admired. In the 1930s, Priestley began a new career as a dramatist, a form of writing many have considered best suited to his great talents. His plays were impeccably crafted, means perfectly written, sometimes experimental, and are characterized by pre war settings and various perspectives on time. Priestley's social conscience was awakened by growing social inequalities in the 1930s, which were unforgettably outlined in English Journey, published 1934. During World War II, Priestley achieved the peak of his fame and influence in his BBC proscripts broadcasts in the year 1940, in which he inspired many in difficult times by reflecting on the beauty of the English landscape, the gallant little ships at Dunkirk, and a steaming pie in a shop window defying the bombers. However, controversially, he called for social change after the war. So the mistakes made after the previous one and the poor treatment of the returning soldiers would not be repeated. Priestley married 3 times. His marriage to Jacquetta was very happy. This was his last marriage. They collaborated on books such as Journey Down to Rainbow 1955 and worked together in C&D. Time and the Priestleys of 1994 by their friend Dinah Collins gives a vivid picture of their later married life and their home at Kissing Tree House near Stratford-on-Avon. Let me remind you children, that Stratford-on-Avon is the village where Shakespeare also was born and where he grew up as a young man. Priestley continued to publish well into the 1970s. He received several honors late in life, including belatedly the Freedom of the City of Bradford and an honorary degree from Bradford University. He had previously declined both a knighthood and a peerage, but in 1977 he accepted the Order of Merit, as this was the gift of the sovereign, meaning the king, here the queen, Queen Elizabeth II, the ruling queen of England, who's alive even today, but not from a political party. He died in 1984. So this was the brief biography of J.B. Priestley. In the next session, we will look at his essay, First Snow. Thank you. Let us take a very brief, quick look at the essay First Snow by J.B. Priestley. There isn't much to talk about the essay actually, but here it goes. One of the most popular of J.B. Priestley's essays shared the joy he found in seeing the first snow. He loved how snow transformed the landscape. The first fall of snow is not only an event, but it is a magical event. You go to bed in one kind of a world and wake up to find yourself in quite another quite different. And then the paragraph ends. The very stealth, the eerie quietness of the thing makes it more magical. These are lines taken from the text. The essay uses the language of fairy tales, the house becoming a woodcutter's cottage, local people, elfish beings. It also makes me think of the appeal of Narnia. Narnia is a fairy tale on television, pushing through the fur coats to find an enchanted winter world. That is, when it in places where it is very cold, where there is snowfall, people have to wear fur coats in order to keep themselves warm. Priestley found himself envying people who lived in places like Canada and have months of snow. But then he reflected that such snow, arriving on a predictable date, settling in for months, would become tiresome. Priestley preferred the fickleness of English weather, which can offer moments of wonder and surprise. So, this is it about the essay. I will also give you the text of the essay so that you can go through it.